Hello everyone. Are you someone who is in a job which is not of your interest? Or someone who graduated in non software streams or domains but later realized that you have passion for coding or want to become a programmer? Well, if that is the case, stick on to this video as I am going to tell you some interesting facts and points which will help you get started on your dream to become a programmer or change your career to programming. I'll also be guiding you on how and what path you can choose as per your interest to get a job in IT industries. So without wasting much time, let's begin with this video on how to become a programmer from a non-programmer. Since you're watching this video, you are either clearly preparing for your dream job. So before we get started, I have something exciting for you. If you are a final year student or a fresh graduate with less than 1 year of job experience, Great Learning brings you to this unique job readiness platform, Career Boost, where you can apply to 400 plus corporate hiring companies. Sounds exciting, right? Complete this video and check out our platform Career Boost, where you can quickly take a job eligibility test, pass it, and apply for relevant jobs. If you do not score well, we have your back. You can prepare from our specially designed courses and take the test again to improve your score before applying to jobs. More than 5 lakh students from 2000 plus top colleges chose us. So why wait? Check it out and join for free today. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoy this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video, any queries or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments. So are you ready to become a programmer? Let's understand what all topics we are going to cover in this particular video. So at first we are going to talk about some important facts which I think you are aware of and you are afraid of. We'll talk about that. And next we are going to see what all questions you should ask yourself before going for this career transition. And in the next particular topic, we are going to understand what are the different job roles that might suit you. And after that, we are going to tell you how to actually start the preparation for your career transition. And then at last, I'm going to again ask you whether you are ready for this particular transformation or not. So without wasting much time, let's start with the very first topic, which is some important facts. Now, these facts are some of the facts which you guys are really afraid of, and you think that whether these things are true or not, right? So let me clear it out with the very first topic that it doesn't matter from which branch of engineering you are, whether it can be chemical engineering or automobile or civil engineering, mechanical engineering, it doesn't matter. You can always become a programmer. And it is not just that I'm saying, but I have my friends and colleagues who have done mechanical or civil engineering and they're doing pretty much good at IT industries working as a developer, right? The next fact is you work in a different domain for the last 8 or 10 or 15 years and now you're looking for a transition because you love coding, right? And you can surely do that. Even if you have a gap of 2 years or 3 years, nobody is going to ask you why you have these particular gap years, right? Because right now in this pandemic situation which is going on, nobody cares about your degree or nobody cares about your percentage. They only care about your knowledge. That takes us to our next point, which is it is not important to have a degree to get hired. Knowledge is much more important, right? And the last point is something, but you don't want to become a programmer, you want to become a problem solver. Please understand and get this point very clearly, because once you learn some programming languages and you're very sure that you're good at it, that's not the point where you're becoming a developer or a programmer or a coder. When you solve a particular problem or when you solve a particular task, that's when you become a problem solver or a programmer, because programmer main task is to solve the problem, and that is what is programming all about. Let's move to the next topic, which is ask yourself a question. So what all questions you should ask before going for this career transformation? First of all, do you love coding? Do you want to create something new? Do you want to create something of your own? Do you love writing codes in laptop or in system? Do you love working with those softwares? Are you someone who loves to create and build something of his or her own, like a website or like a web page, right? Do you want to build something like that? Then you are the one. You can go ahead and take this particular career transformation. Do you think you can learn programming easily? If you think you can, then this is the right path for you. Do you just want to become a programmer or a problem solver? If you think that you want to become a problem solver, then only go for this particular field. Otherwise, your choice, what you want to become, you think about that. Can you think logically to solve a problem? Whenever anybody codes or programs, they actually think logically. To solve a problem, you have to think logically. You can't just apply any method to solve that problem. You have to statistically prove which particular theorem or algorithm will fit there, right? And that is why every time you are solving a problem, you have to solve a problem thinking logically. And that is what you should have. Is it just your hobby? Like, do you think that programming is just your hobby? Then don't do that. And if it's just for your hobby, then you can take it forward as a freelancing, right? Full-time job, you can do something else which you love, and in a part-time job or in a hobby kind of thing, you can go for programming, right? So these are some of the questions which you should ask yourself and understand whether you are fit for this particular job role or not. Let's move to the next topic, which is job roles. So we are going to understand what are the different job roles that you can get once you learn coding or programming. And many of you must be knowing about these particular 5 to 6 job roles, which are clearly very much visible in current market. So we have front-end developers, back-end developers, software engineers, data scientists, and test engineers. Now, there are not only these 5 jobs which you can choose, but there are several more. We have system admin, right? We have people who are looking for database, right? Or working for databases. And then we have people for machine learning. We have people for artificial intelligence. We have people who want to, explore from IoT, that means Internet of Things. So there are a lot of job roles which actually programming provides, and you can choose from all of these one of them, right? Okay, now talking about each of the job role, how you will understand that which particular job role is for you, because you are a non-programmer, you don't know anything about programming, right? And this is the very first time that you are getting into the world of coding or getting into the field of IT, correct? Then how you will understand that which particular job role fits me, or for which particular job role I should give the interview, correct? So let's talk about it from the scratch, right? Let me tell you about all these particular job roles, what they do and what are their works here, okay? Now, how to find out which job role will suit you? To understand this question or to get an answer of this question, first you have to understand the web development architecture, okay? Now, what is this web development architecture? Basically, this is something which you generally do it for a long period of time. You're doing it right now also. You're watching a YouTube video, right? That also requires IT or coding or programming, correct? YouTube is an application which actually is created using coding or programming, correct? Starting from there, you need to think. You need to think like, how can I actually create a YouTube? Can I create YouTube, right? Let's say that you have this particular laptop and you have opened a YouTube, correct? And if you are Googling www.youtube.com, what actually happens behind that? That actually you need to first of all understand, and then only you will get into the coding or the programming area, correct? So what happens when you type www.youtube.com? Obviously, a request goes to the server. Server is something which is, a particular physical or a non-physical thing where all the data is present, right? So in this youtube.com, whatever youtube.com is, this website is present in the server, and all the data, that means whatever in the screen you can see, whatever feeds or suggestions or videos all those things are nothing but the data. So all these data are kept somewhere, right? And those are kept in the database, right? So this is a cloud database where you have a humongous amount of storage where all these data are stored. From there, all those data are coming back to the server, and from the server it comes back to our system, and that is how we can able to see www.youtube.com with all the data and all the other related stuffs. Very simple, but it has a lot of things behind, right? Obviously, there is no human intervention. Everything is happening automatically, correct? I am not throwing data to server, and server is not throwing data to using human beings to database, correct? It is happening automatically. And how it is happening automatically? Using coding or programming. Okay. Now there are two things. When you talk about www.youtube.com, you are actually creating a website where people can actually see some videos, see some suggestions, and they can click on it and they can watch the video, right? And that is what is called as front-end programming. What is front-end programming? Basically what you can see it from your eyes, okay? And we use here several other kind of languages to create such a web page, right? So that is called as front-end programming. Front end, because you're in the front end. That is why it is called as front-end programming. Coming to the server, obviously there is no human intervention, as I said. So somebody is there who is telling that you have to pass this request or you have to pass this response, right? And that is what is nothing but your backend language. Okay. So we use backend programming in server to actually communicate these three things, which is your front end, server, and your database. So all these three things will communicate using programming. That sounds very exciting, right? Because there is no human intervention, only programming is doing all the communication, right? And after that, in database also, we have to create storage. That means some kind of table creation in which we will store our data. Maybe here we'll store the name, here we'll store the age, here we'll store something else, right? So this particular table storage data will be created using database languages, right? So these are some of the different parts where you can work. Okay, now what does it mean? That means if you want to create a web page, only the web page, then you can become a front-end developer. You will be working for front-end programming. You will be creating the web page. That means how a web page can be designed, how it can be styled, how you can actually make it more beautiful and attractive so that every other people or the candidate will actually open a website and will work on it, right? So if you have a creativity mind, if you think very creative, then you can go ahead for front-end programming. You can become a front-end developer. This particular portion is really very easy to learn and anybody can become a front-end developer. Coming to the back-end part. Back-end means you can become a back-end developer if you don't want to see the result. If you want to just understand how this back-end things are working. You want to work behind the scenes. You don't want to see the actual output. You want to work behind the scenes so that people can see your output very easily and efficiently. You don't have to work on the designs, or you don't have to actually have a creative mind. You have to have a logical thinking ability here to understand what logic you can write so that request can go and response can come back. Not only that, but many more logical thinking questions and answers you will do here. The next job role is database. If you want to work with data, if you want to handle how to handle all those millions or billions of data, how you can store it, how you can manipulate it, how you can actually play with the data so that it doesn't get lost, right? Those particular thing, if you are interested on, then you can become a database admin or database administrator, right? Now, these are the job roles for web development architecture, right? So we don't have only these job roles, which is, you can see from scratch, it is actually creating a website, right? But what if there are some other works in a software industry? Like maybe your company wants a person who can actually, handle the company's server, and that job role is called as server admin. So you will be working as system admin or server admin who will be looking into the company's server, how the company server is working, whether there is a lot of loads or not, and how to handle it, all of those things. There are several other job roles as well, which is something like data scientist. That means you'll be working with data, you'll be playing with data, you'll be analyzing how to actually, all the billions of data which is coming inside your company, how you can handle it and manipulate it, right? How you can plot it in a graph, how you can actually solve a particular statistic problem. Those things are nothing but the work of data analyst or data scientist. Like this, you have several other roles which are program manager. So you'll be managing the program of, you'll be having a team of 5 members. One will be testing people, one will be software developer, and you have to handle all those people, right? There's one more job role which is testing. Now, what is this testing? Whatever developers are creating, suppose a web page, youtube.com is getting created. Tester will test that particular application and will find bugs on it. Whether there is a bug or, whether there's an error in that particular application or not. If there is a bug, it will be sent to the developer again, and developer has to correct that particular bug or remove that bug, right? So that is the work of testers or testing. So these are the job roles. Now you have to identify which particular job role interests you or suits you. We have seen how to find out which job role will suit you, and these are the 3 main areas which we have come up with. Front-end languages, if you want to become a front-end developer. Back-end languages, if you want to become a back-end developer. If you know both of these things and you have a certain experience of 2 to 3 years, you will become a full-stack developer. And trust me, in India, full-stack developers are large in amount, and there is a lot of demand in this particular field, right? There's also a lot of demand in front-end developers and in backend developers, and that is why most of the people want to get a job in IT field. You take any city which is Bangalore, Pune, Delhi, Mumbai, you will get a lot of job opportunities in these fields. Okay, now coming to the database, you can become a database admin, as I said, but if you're learning Python and you're moving into a data scientist field or a machine learner or a artificial intelligence field, then also you have a lot of opportunities to become a data scientist or to move your career in that particular field. So let's move and let's see what things we have to learn, what all particular languages we have to learn to actually get inside these jobs. Now, if you want to become a front-end developer, right? So we have to understand some of the languages, which is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and some frameworks of JavaScript, right? Some frameworks, it can be like React, Vue, Angular, anything you can choose. And if you know this much, nobody can stop you to become a front-end developer. And how you'll prepare this? So there are so many YouTube courses. Even Great Learning is having so many YouTube videos on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. 5 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours. We have a lot of videos which you can see and you can actually gain knowledge in these. Front-end developer is a particular job role which is very, very easy to get because HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is a very easy programming language or a coding language to understand and learn. Now you can practice and you can create some projects. Once you create some projects, you will be able to get a job. If you talk about backend developer, then you will be able to understand one of the programming language, understand what I'm saying, that you should not be knowing all the programming languages. Even one particular programming language, if you know, you're good to go and become a backend developer. Now, backend developer means that you know Python or any programming language and you have a deep knowledge about it. Not that much deeper concepts, but yes, even basics you have, If you create several projects using this particular language and you put it in a resume, you will get a job. Now, why I'm not saying that deeper concepts are important to learn, because once you are inside a company, your company will be providing all the things, all the materials, and all the training which you need to work in that company. So you don't have to do the hard work. You will be doing the smart work. You'll be learning only the basic, get the job, and inside the job, you'll be learning for free and you'll be earning also. So this is how you can become a front-end developer or back-end developer. If you want to become a data scientist, obviously, if you know Python, you can take it forward and you can learn about NumPy, Pandas, and a lot of other statistics, machine learning algorithms and artificial intelligence. Those things you can cover here and you can become a data scientist. But if you want to take a shorter path, start from front-end developer, because this is something which is really very easy to do. Okay, so start preparing for the transformation. Which all things we need to look upon, or which all topics or concepts we need to cover to become a programmer. I've already told you about some of the programming languages, which is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, then maybe mobile development, Android development. If you are interested in game development, you can go ahead with game development, right? You can learn the software of Unity, right? Those things you can do. And topics and concepts which are really very important to understand are, now there is these topics which are really very important: variables, right? And then we have operators, then we have conditional statements, right? And then we have loops, right? And these particular topics which I'm writing here, these topics are basically the general ABCD of any programming language. If you know these particular concepts very well of any programming language, you're good to become a programmer, right? In English language, we know ABCD. If we know ABCD, we can directly tell any word or any sentence, right? Same thing happens here. If you know variables, operators, conditional statements, and looping, then nobody can stop you in becoming a programmer, right? Okay, let's move to the next topic, which is how to easily get jobs. So when it comes to the interview part, now suppose that you're a non-programmer and you have taken Python language, you have studied about it, you have created some projects on it, you have put it in your resume, and now is the time that you're sitting for the interview. What are the things you should be caring about? You should have a strong basic concept, not advanced, some basic concepts, because the interviewer know that you are coming from a non-programming background and he'll be very lenient about it. YouTube is one of the best platforms to learn anything you want, right? So if you want to learn any programming language or any particular course you want to take, YouTube is the best free resource. So take benefit out of it and use it for your own knowledge. Practice solving scenario-based programs from websites. Now there are so many websites. If I name about any, then you have Geeks for Geeks, you have LeetCode, you have HackerRank, and in all of those particular websites you can find a lot of algorithm questions and scenario problems which you can solve daily. So daily, even if you solve 2 to 3 problems, you will be able to gain logical thinking ability in you, right? And it will surely help you in your interview and in your future journey. Now, the next one is you can invest on some of the courses which are available in the market, right? So there are so many companies and so many resources available who are providing you the courses, right? Now there is one particular development course, which is full stack development course, which many of the company actually provides, and you have to just go through it. You have to check the curriculum, you have to check what all things they are teaching and how much time is required to do that, right? Whether it's a live online teaching, whether it's an offline, and what are materials they are giving me, whether they are giving me a placement opportunity or not. So all these things you can take care about, and you can take those courses as well, right? Do not think about I should go ahead with free resources or I should go ahead with paid resources. Paid resources are always very good. That is why they are paid, right? So think about that. Now, here I want to introduce you to one of our full stack development course, which is this one. IIT Roorkee, all the faculties from IIT Roorkee are particularly taking this particular course. Okay, this is on full stack software development, and all the faculties from IIT Roorkee will be teaching you this particular course. Now, if you scroll down, you'll be able to download the brochure, and also you'll be able to see the whole curriculum which is provided here. And also your trainers and mentors who are from IIT Roorkee will be teaching you this particular live online course, right? And obviously at last you'll get a certificate and you will be job ready. That is what is very important. So these courses are basically making you job ready. So decide which particular thing you want to do, and trust me, this particular full stack development course will give you all the things which you want if you are from a non-programmer background, right? Let's move to the next question, which is, are you ready? Now that you know all the paths and all the job roles, and now you have to choose which particular job role you want to be in, and hence how you will actually start preparing for that particular job role, right? So now the question is, do you have the required knowledge to get paid? Once you are prepared, once after 3 months or 4 months you have prepared for all of the things, you know a programming language, you know how to create a website, or whichever job role you are going and whatever things you are learning, if you have those knowledge, do you think any company will hire you to get you paid for some work? Think about that. Think in that perspective. So if you know how to create a website, is it enough for a company to get you hired and to pay you? You have to think like that. Next question is, have you done numerous amount of projects? Because obviously companies will look at your experience. What have you done? If you have done many projects, and if the projects are awesome, then obviously you're going to impress your interviewer and he's going to hire you. But if you've not done any projects, you have just have the knowledge of some programming language, that is not enough. Are you ready to get interviewed? Think about a timeline when you are ready to get interviewed. 3 months, after 6 months, after 1 year. Take your time. That is what I'm saying. Don't only depend on free courses. Free courses are always available. Take benefit out of that. But also think and plan accordingly with a paid course. Look upon how these courses will, enhance your knowledge and get you certified. Do you need some more time to enhance your knowledge? If you need, take it, right? Now, here one more thing is very important, that when you're taking an extra time, do not skip the interviews. Keep on giving interviews. Obviously, it will not happen that once you're giving the first interview and you'll get selected. That's not going to happen. You will get rejected several times, and time will come maybe after 3 months or 6 months that you will get hired. So you have to have patience and you have to always enhance your knowledge. Are you thinking logically? At last, this is what is a programmer do, right? Programmer or a coder or a developer actually thinks logically. So even if in your real world, you're not doing any programming, you're not doing anything related to coding, just think whether you are thinking logically or not. When you're walking on the road, when you're doing some task, whether you're thinking logically or not, whether that particular area or 3 months or 6 months, when you have actually read some articles or you have read a programming language, you have gained some knowledge. After 6 months, what has been changed in you? That you need to figure out. If you're thinking logically, if you think that you're solving Rubik's Cube or any Sudoku problem very easily, or you are playing a chess and you're mastering it very soon, that's where you're going to understand that you have a logical ability and you have increased it to a certain level, right? So that is what is all this video about. And I hope you like this video and you have understood how you can do a career transformation from a non-programmer to a programmer, why programmer field is so much in race and why is it, in hype. These were the points. I hope you will take care about these points. And also, if you want to check out that particular course, which is full stack development course by IIT Roorkee, we have the link in the description given below in this particular video. So just open the description, click on the link, and you will be in that particular web page. Scroll through it, check out what all things are there and who all are the mentors, and decide what you want to do in your life. Have a great learning. All the best. Thank you so much for this particular video. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoyed this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing. So make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video any queries or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments.